We are live. Okay. Let's get this beauty cover off. It's not very beautiful. I grab my iPad. Oh, we got 2 people in already, 1 like. Hello, everybody. Well, it is time to make some automotive repairs here at the Bice household. Just give me a moment here. I'm popping my iPad out so I can see the chat while I'm turning wrenches, or at least somewhat. What's up, Mr. Frank Green? How are you doing today, sir? I think I'll pop Mr. iPad right there so I can see what folks are saying. All right. That's enough out of you. I'm not going to need you again for a while. What's up, Phil? How are you doing? Avoiding the raindrops. Yeah, it rained its butt off here last night, so I'm not going to be able to cut grass today like I want to do and like I desperately need to do, because it is it's getting a little thick. You can probably see it's getting a little thick. Yeah, I need to cut, but it's too wet. Way too wet. So instead, I'm going to be fixing my wife's car. It's got an oil leak on the back side. The valve cover gasket is leaking, and it's leaking directly onto the heat shield for the exhaust manifold and smoking like crazy. So yeah, not a good thing. And I'm not going to pay a shop $500 to do it with a $15 part when I can just do it myself. Dead gum, that joker's on there tight. I'll get my other wrench. And the geniuses who designed this car, the battery is way down under the bottom, and to get to the battery and take the battery out, you have to take the front left wheel off, the wheel well cover, I mean just everything out just to get the battery. So they moved the jumper studs up here. So right now I'm just removing the negative terminal because I have to work around all these other wires and stuff. Man, I just did this not too long ago because I just replaced the coils. I don't remember this nut being that tight. All right. You gone, sweetheart? Yeah. All right. Be careful. Enjoy. You're sort of on camera.
Oh, yeah, I see you.
Bye. Oh yeah, the alarm went off last night. All right. Ratchet wrenches, yeah, they're expensive, and I don't do enough automotive stuff to really warrant getting them. I've got sockets and I've got all sorts of ratchets and sockets and stuff, but yeah, ratchet wrench would be nice. Where to start? Where to start? Coils. I'm gonna mark. Hang on, I'm gonna grab my tape and label each coil. Because I want to put them back in the order where I got them out. So my wife is driving the truck, my truck right now instead of her car. That's what y'all hear rumbling in the background. And it sounds like I need to look at those brakes. I don't know why it does that every time it backs up. They're brand new brakes. Oh God, that sounds terrible. It's the back right brake. I don't know why. I've had it looked at. I've looked at it myself. It looks fine. Maybe it's a bad pad. Let's get this off because I had to use electrical tape on this coils connector because the last shop that worked on it broke the clip out of it. So yeah, let me let me tell you a little story about that shop. I'd been going to that shop, taking my stuff there mainly to get tires for 15 years, at least 15 years. And here recently I started having problems with them. Well, this car started having overheating issues and engine misses and stuff like that. I had it towed up there 4 times. And luckily, I've got towing as part of my insurance policy, so it doesn't cost me anything. But towed it up there 4 separate times. Well, the 4th time, they said, all right, it's ready, come get it. So I told my wife, all right, y'all can go pick it up. So she went to pick it up, and all right, let's move this out of the way. A little fuel line. And I'll have to take that breather tube off too. So anyhow, we went up there. She went up there to pick it up, and the guy running the counter said, yeah, we replaced one coil, but it needs, and one plug, but it needs all 4 of them. And so it's going to break down again. So see you when it breaks down again. And she's like, well, did you tell Zach? Does he know? And he's like, yeah, Bo called him. Bo's the shop manager. He called and talked to him. She's like, all right. So she picked it up and left. Well, Bo had never called me. Never talked to him about it. I didn't know about it. So the dude flat out lied and said that I knew. And then sure enough, it broke down again and stranded my wife at work. So of course, you know, I was about 4 different kinds of pissed off. And luckily another coach there lives pretty close to us and gave her a ride home. He was the last one to leave. And stranded her there, left. So we left the car there, and you know, I'm disabled. I can't do a whole lot. I get, you know, my thermostat in my body's broken. I get overheated real easily. I run fevers all the time. So I just said, screw it. I went out and bought a coil pack and new plugs and everything, and went and fixed it myself, and it's run great ever since. So 4 tows to this shop, and then I went out and fixed it in a parking lot myself. So needless to say, they're never seeing another one of my vehicles again. Never again. I'm usually a pretty forgiving guy and understanding, but that, when you just straight up flat out lie and joke about my vehicle breaking down on my wife, nope, line crossed. I'm done with you. All right, let's see. I need to label where those studs are on this cover. What's up, Mr. Cooper? Better yet, I'll tell you what I'll do. I should have put gloves on. I got oil all over my fingers. Hey, Amy. I'll take a picture of where those studs are. And I'll just go back to that picture. I'm up early. Yeah, I got up at 5. right, let's take the coils out. That's a T30, I think. I think I've got the right size. Yeah, that'll work. I have the same problem with my pickup truck. They wanted to charge me $800 just to change the coil. But yeah, that's crazy, man. Coil packs are not hard to change. Not at all. And I like this valve cover gasket. I know they would probably try to charge me $500 or $600 just in labor. But there's one coil right there. Done. Super easy. Coil 2. Coil 3. And coil 4. I mean, a decent mechanic can replace coils in maybe 30 minutes, depending on where they're located and how easy it is to get to. It's not that difficult. And grab my impact ones, because those, where are those? There it is. Hopefully I've got the right size. Yep. And a 3/8 drive. But I hope everybody's having a wonderful, restful Sunday morning. I know I'm supposed to be resting, but I got stuff to do. What's up, Steve? How you doing, man? Miss Carolyn, how are you, sweetheart? I'll go get me another tray. There I go dropping stuff. You're not a mechanic unless you drop a few things. Just saying. Alright. And I do not consider myself a mechanic in the least. Why won't that joker come out? I guess it doesn't come all the way out. 2. 3. 4. 5. I was a shop supervisor over a diesel shop for 13, 14 years, something like that. So I've done my fair share And I used to rebuild engines and stuff with my dad. What number was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's not going to fit down in there. I have to get the ratchet on that one. Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's supposed to be 18 total. Oh, they broke that clip too, didn't they? Gasoline. I hope I don't have to take this fuel rail off. I don't think I will. So hoping to go live this weekend, but yesterday I was busy and tired. Hey, I don't blame you, man. Have you started that new job yet, Steve? Oh, I'm reading up the chat here. Yeah, first week. Really good. Very excited. Awesome. Finished the first week on Friday. That's awesome, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm gonna have to take this off. And I'm not sure exactly how. Is that one I missed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Where the heck's number 18? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, I just miscounted. All right, they're all loosened. Now, I just gotta does that back out of there? It's gonna be a 1-inch. Of course. Of course it is. Of course it is. And I do not have a 1-inch. Well, that joker was already kind of loose. This must be the oil return line. Yeah, that's your oil return line to bathe the top, so that's got to come loose. I need to remove the air breather tube. So now the valve cover should come off. I just need to pry it loose very carefully. Because if I break or crack this cover, which is plastic, that's going to cost me another $80 or $90. And we ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for that. Yeah, you do not want to come loose, do you? You stubborn. Looking for my little putty knife. That would be perfect for this. Just put the coils over here. All right, Frank, I appreciate you stopping in, my friend. AC guy came and did the normal yearly check. AC wasn't working. Took it apart. Capacitor for 20. Yeah. The capacitor on my outdoor unit usually goes out once every 2 years or so. And my wife's cousin owns his own AC repair business. And he just comes over and swaps it out for us. No big deal. Come on. Oh, that's what it was. You big dummy. I didn't loosen that back one. Yeah, that might do it. Forgot about that back one. Here's the... Yeah, might have to loosen her to... All right, that's loose. Wish there was a better place to grab it from. I'm gonna rock the whole car. I'm gonna go find my putty knife and get in behind it. Uno momento, friends. Where did I put that joker? I think I saw it over here on the hood of my Bronco. Let's take a look-see. Sure enough, there she is. Whew. What's up, Greg? Hey, Holla. No, Holla, I am replacing the valve cover gasket, which you have to take the coils out to do that. But I replaced the coils and plugs about 6 months ago. And now I've got an oil leak on the back side dripping onto the heat shield for the exhaust manifold. And yeah, I can't have that. Can't have that. So getting this valve cover off is the hard part. She is, I feel it coming loose from the back. If I can get it started peeling up on one side, I can get the rest of it. That ain't a problem. She is on there. Hands are getting oily. There's oil coming down the back. Which is expected. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. And I ain't paying no ratchety shop a ton of money to do something I can do myself. Oh. All right, Amy, I appreciate you stopping in, my friend. Yeah, Greg, it's not. It's not fun. Especially with as hot and humid as it is out here, because it is. I got my fan going over here, but it ain't enough. And it's only, I don't know, it's like 75, 76, but the humidity is like 90% right now. It's up there. Man, if I could just get it started. Everything's loose. Oh, it's coming. Woohoo! Success! Let's get you off of there, buddy. Let's get you off of there. Come on. You know you wanna. All right, valve cover is off. And this is the gasket, and there is no doubt that this gasket is shot. It's hard, brittle. Right over here is where it's been leaking. Actually, no, wait. That side, that's the timing chain side. So over here, yeah. This is where it's been leaking. Out the back. So, let's clean this up and get this old gasket and all these other gaskets and grommets out of here. Let's move this stuff. Isn't automotive work fun? I ain't paying somebody $600, $700 to do this crap. I can do it myself. Not doing it. I've done it before. Yep, that is definitely where it's been leaking because it is brittle as all get out right there. Yeah, see it just snapped. See how it snapped and breaking like that? That's why it's leaking. And that's exactly where it's been leaking, on that back side. Gaskets are not supposed to be hard and brittle. They're supposed to be soft and pliable. So, bye-bye, old gasket. It's an actual gasket. Yeah, it's a formed silicone gasket. And it's got an inner gasket for the valves. And I'm going to change it too. Because for those that don't do a lot of automotive work, if you pull something apart that's got a gasket, always replace the gasket. Don't put it right back, or it will leak. It may not leak immediately, but it will leak. And there's the coil gasket, so it's going. And it comes with 18 grommets to go around all the bolts too. Yeah, it's not that bad of a job. It could be worse. I mean, if it was on the bottom side of the engine, I definitely wouldn't be doing it because I don't have the capability to get it up in the air, and getting under it is not a fat kid friendly event. So yeah, I'm not doing that. Timing chain looks good. Everything else looks okay. It's just that gasket. Clean off. Some of this old gasket stuff. Make sure none of it gets down in there. Whoops. Hee. How did I do that? I didn't know those would push out. Oh, that's where those are. Okay, okay. I'll have to get my magnet and get that other one. Hey, Leah. Let's see. All right, let's take these out because I have to replace all these little grommets. Anyway, the kit comes with all those. Where's my, there it is. What's up, David? Yeah, David, I am replacing the valve cover gasket on my wife's car because it is leaking on the back side on top of the exhaust manifold heat shield and smoking like crazy. I already got the valve cover off, gaskets replaced, well, gaskets pulled out, and sure enough on the back side it was brittle and breaking apart. So now I'm just cleaning up the valve cover, popping out all the bolts that I got to replace those grommets on. And I'm dropping them on the ground, which isn't a good thing. But today's the only day that I've got available to do it, and she starts band camp next week, and she needs her car and I need my truck. And this is the first day we haven't had rain, and it's not too bad hot out here. It's humid as all get out, but it's not that hot. All right. Yeah, let's do that. And Leah, to answer your question, my going to church today, you want an honest answer, I go to church every day. Just because I'm not physically in a building, which I'm disabled and I can't get out much anyway, doesn't mean I'm not worshiping God. So there's the answer for that. My wife just left to go. She goes every Sunday morning she plays in the orchestra at church. And I go when I'm able, when I'm feeling up to it. Because I know doing this is going to put me down for the rest of the week. I'm not going to feel like doing anything. But I got to do it. So I'm pushing myself just to get this. But I've got to do it. I don't have a choice. It just happens to be on a Sunday. Let's move these coils back out of the way so y'all can at least kind of see what the heck I'm doing. I hope I put this stuff back together right. That's right, Miss Carolyn. Going to church does not save you. Only Jesus can do that. I go when I can. And I've had my issues with established, religion and churches, and say what you will about church. Church is still run by sinners. Nobody's going to be perfect. We can just do the best we can and pray for them. And I think everybody's had some negative issues with churches. So wherever two or more shall gather in his name, there also he will be. That is a church. So there's more than one of y'all in here with me right now. As far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of good Christian people in here too. We're at church right now. And I don't think that my faith is really in question, considering how devoted I am to things. So you do not have to go to church to be a Christian. It helps because it teaches us. And I'll never say that church is a bad thing, but it is not required to go to a building away from the house to worship God. And that's all I'll say about that. I think my daughter's about to leave. You gone? Enjoy. Have fun at work. So she has to go to work. I don't think she knows I'm live right now. But yeah, she's got to go to work because her busiest days are Sundays, Saturdays and Sundays. She works at Cracker Barrel. As long as Jesus is in your heart, that's what's exactly right, Miss Carolyn. Exactly right. As long as Jesus dwells in your heart and soul, and you're filled with the Holy Spirit, that's it. That's all that matters. And simplistically speaking, that's all it takes. All right, where is my magnet? There it is, my telescoping magnet. But yeah, that's all it takes. And a lot of people don't understand that. Salvation is really simple. And people try to overcomplicate it. It's really not that hard. Come on, where you at? I know you fell. Please don't make me get on my hands and knees. Oh, I do have my kneeler. I can do that. Oh, I see you. I see you, you elusive joker, you. There you are. I tell you what, y'all. These things are super handy. If you do any mechanic work, stuff like that, even woodworking, you drop screws and stuff, these little telescoping magnets. I have like 4 or 5 around the shop. If you ain't got one, get one. I'm telling you. All right, so the valve cover is clean. I'm gonna take y'all out of the holder real quick and show y'all what I'm seeing over here, just because y'all can't see, y'all aren't in a good. There's the inside of the engine, the valve train, timing chain, all that stuff. There's the inside of the valve cover. Here are my new gaskets, and I've got to replace all these lovely little grommets. So we're an hour in and we're halfway done. So this is the oil return line that bathes everything with the oil, recycles it. The oil pump pumps it up there and bathes everything in oil, make sure everything's good and lubricated. And I'm gonna have to clean out, let me see. Yeah, there's a bunch of oil dripping down. So right here, you can see that's where it's been leaking and burning off onto the heat shield for the exhaust manifold. So yeah, that's America. That's what I'm being able, that's what I can see. That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, get in there. There we go. I don't do mechanics work. Applaud you for being willing to do it. I'd have bought her a new car. Dude, if I could afford a new car, I would. If anybody deserves a new car, it's Amanda, because she's my #1 fan. She's a rock star. She's always 100% supportive of what I do, and she takes good care of me. I mean, she's just awesome. And if I could afford it, I'd buy her a brand new sports car today. But yeah, the stars don't align for that. I gotta figure out how to get these grommets off. It's a slide grommet. It should just, I guess. You know what? They're getting replaced anyway. I'm just gonna cut them. I'm gonna grab my cutters. But yeah, I guarantee you a dealer or the shop that I normally took, yeah, that works out great. Just cutting it off. Took my stuff to, they charge probably at least $500-600 in labor to do this. Nope. I'm so broke, I got to fart to get a cent in my pocket, so I ain't paying someone else to do it. Dude, the new cars, I hate new cars, because new cars, they are so loaded up with all this technology and stuff you really don't need, stuff that does not help you get from A to B. Like, why do I need a heated steering wheel? That's ridiculous. In Memphis, I don't need a heated steering wheel. I need a cooled steering wheel. But my uncle just bought a brand new Dodge Ram Bighorn edition. It's got the inline 6 in it. And it's got heated steering wheel. It doesn't even have a dipstick, y'all. The oil sensor, to tell you the oil level, is electronic. It's an electronic sensor, and it tells you through the gauges on the dash. Doesn't even have a dipstick. That scares me. Like, holla, I've got a yeah, so broke you got to fart to get a cent in your pocket. So broke you can't afford to pay attention. But holla, you're an automotive guy. I've got a 1970 Bronco half cab about 2 feet behind me that I've been restoring and working on here and there slowly. And my grandfather left it to me. And I learned how to drive with that vehicle when I was 12. And I love that thing. It's got the original 302 V8. It's a 3 on the tree. And being the half cab, they only made 1,400 of them. And it's got it's the short pickup truck, utility truck version of the Bronco. It's got the 2 fuel tanks. And yeah, it's my baby. I've got some I put some I took it's got the original rims. I took those, had those powder coated black, and put new tires on it. It's got 33-inch Cooper AT3 XLTs. They've only gotten like a few miles on them, but right now I've got the fuel tanks pulled out of it because, well, the rear tank has been out of it for years because it rotted out. The front tank we had to pull out, and we're replacing it. It's almost done, and I just got to put the rear tank in and it'll be good. But you know, we kind of hit a standstill on that. I hadn't been back to it. Hasn't been a priority. Oh yeah, you saw the Bronco on the live streams. Yeah, I can't wait to get it running again and get those fuel tanks replaced. I mean, it ran great before that, but with only one fuel tank and the gauge doesn't work and all that stuff, sending unit doesn't work. Well, these tanks I have new sending units, new wiring, new everything. And the front tank, I think, is 8 gallons, and the rear tank is 13 gallons. So, yeah, I don't like driving it around and not knowing how much gas I've got left. I have heated seats and they're wonderful, of course. Up there, Greg, dude, I would highly request heated seats and heated steering wheel and stuff like that. That's a no-brainer. But down here in Memphis, nope. It's a total waste. But Dodge they're made for people up north. Like, the reason Dodge has such large buttons and knobs on the interior is because they designed it for people wearing big snow gloves and stuff like that. So that's why Dodge's knobs and buttons are so big and much bigger than like Chevy or Ford. So in case you've ever wondered why that is with a Dodge, there you go. There's your answer. They were designed for people that work in cold conditions. Yeah, I get my Bronco parts from Tom's Bronco in Oregon. They sell everything that you could possibly need or want for a Bronco. You can even buy a whole new chassis, an engine and everything, and rebuild it from the ground up. Build your own Bronco from them. They've got everything. So they're the ones that I typically order from because they sell OEM parts and not a whole lot of aftermarket garbage. But yeah, I spent 13 years as a diesel shop supervisor. And I worked on gas burners and stuff a lot too, growing up. But yeah, I've helped change DD13, DD15 engines, Cat C7s, replacing injectors, water pumps, AC units, alternators. I've even helped work on refrigeration trailers, stuff like that, you name it. But my favorite engine to work on for automotive or for diesel was the Detroit Series 60. That thing, that was the best engine Detroit ever made, hands down. Detroit Series 60. And when they went to this stupid diesel exhaust fluid stuff because of California, it took all the fun out of it. It really did. Because I saw so many people, and they tried their best to dummy proof it, but making it to where you don't put diesel exhaust fluid in the diesel, because that's not where it's supposed to go. Diesel exhaust fluid gets sprayed into the exhaust to eliminate the noxious gases. Well, people would put it in the fuel. That's an instant $15,000 mistake, because the second that diesel exhaust fluid goes into the engine, that engine is shot. It's gone. So, yeah. I worked on Detroit's, Caterpillar, Cummins also. Yeah. Yeah, the Detroit Series 60 is by far my favorite engine. The only thing I hated about the Detroit Series 60 was trying to get the water pump, changing the water pump, because the frame rail was right there against it. So you had to shimmy it a certain way. And it was real funny when I showed up some mechanics. You know, I'm just a stupid supervisor, and I've got a top tier mechanic fighting trying to get the water pump on. I'll walk over and do it within 3 seconds. It pissed him off so bad. I still joke with him about it. That's been gosh, 15, 16 years ago. Hello, Miss Tina. How are you doing? Yes, Series 50 and Series 60 were meant to be worked on. Yes, they were. They were great. They made a big mistake when they went to the DDs. But that is an old previous life. Then I went back to UPS as an engineering supervisor over automation and building mechanics and stuff like that. So, which I worked there before I went to Penske, so I was familiar with it. Yes, they were. They were used in a lot of different applications. I mean, people would even take a Series 50 or 60 and put it in their boat. I've seen them in boats. So, in case y'all are wondering what I'm doing, I cut off all the rubber seals off these bolts. They go in through the top. They can only go back on one way. See how it's got this bevel here? It slips back on that way. So that's what I'm doing. putting these back on so I can bolt that joker back down. Luckily, these things are dummy proof. They can only go on one way, or I would mess it up. I have no doubt I would mess it up. And this car is a 2014 Dodge Avenger, which, if you want my honest opinion, I would not have let her buy this car if we were together before she bought it. We actually had just started talking on the phone. Actually, our first phone conversation was the day she bought this car. And I had Dodges before. I had a Dodge Charger 07 model. And in less than 20,000 miles, I had to have the transmission rebuilt because the electronic shifting in it, it was shifting late and it just absolutely destroyed third gear. So luckily it was still under warranty and they had to rebuild the transmission. Didn't even have 20,000 miles on it. So as soon as the warranty went out on that car, the car went out. I got rid of it. But Mopar has always had a problem with transmissions, so knock on wood, this one won't. But I wouldn't have opted. I would have highly advised against getting a Dodge, at least of that year. But it is what it is. It's been a good car. It ain't been terrible. It's caused a lot more issues than my 2006 F-150. We've done more work to this car than I've done my truck, and my truck has double the mileage on it. All right, all those grommets are on. Used to work on Detroit two-stroke engines, and they were, oh yeah, the two-stroke engines were great. Just now getting my coffee. I'll let you know in a bit. Yeah, I couldn't start moving and operating and thinking to do this stuff until I had my coffee, and now I can't shut up. So oh God, that's the part that I hate doing, is cleaning off the old gasket residue off the engine block. I have to be so careful not to get that crap inside, and it has to be 100% clean, because if there's one dip, it will not seal. I'll go under there, dadgummit. Just don't break. I wonder why they've got gasket sealer. That's strange. I know this thing hasn't been off. I wonder why there's gasket sealer there. Oh, I think I know why. I see why. That's the time. Yeah, never mind. I know why. That's the timing chain cover. And it's been, they sealed it with gasket sealer. All right. So let's clean. Oh, fingernail works better. Get that old gasket sealer off of there. We're about 2/3 of the way done. Oh no, I dropped a little bit of that in there. That's all right. It's okay. Is it a CVT? No. Nope. At least I don't think it is. Oh, jeez. I'm getting too old for this. And I ain't even that old. All right, don't need these cutters anymore. Those jokers are sharp too. All right, for those that have not seen, I'm gonna pop y'all out of the camera just for a second. There's the valve cover. Inside is clean, ready for the new gasket. I'm gonna pop the new bolts and new grommets and everything, pop those back in. There's our engine, and it is cleaned off all around where the gasket makes contact. So now I'm going to work on putting the gasket back in, and of course I got to clean all that oil that drained down off of the heat shield. It's gonna burn off in smoke anyway, but and clean this camera lens off. That's a little better. So yeah, a little different content for Bice Family Tree. We're shade tree mechanic in it here. All right, there's the new. Actually, I want to put the bolts back in first, I think. Good thing is I don't see any metal shavings or anything anywhere, so that is really good news. That makes me feel good. It wasn't that long ago this oil got changed. All right, yeah, we're good to start putting those bad boys back in. Either goes like this. I gotta remember. I might need to look this up and make sure I did it right. That just doesn't seem right. Something's... But that's the way they came out, so... Don't screw it up. Yeah, yeah, thanks, John. If I screw this up, it's going to cost me a whole lot of money. Whole lot of money. I'll tell you what, let me... let's see. I just need to make sure that I put these grommets on right. So I'm gonna check this video real quick to make sure I did it, because the way I put them back on the way it came out, but okay, that's right. He did the same thing I did. He had to cut the old ones off. So I did that right. Yep, put them on the bevel side first. So that's right. Let me plug my phone back in because I don't want it to die and show this. I gotta show how exciting this is. Boring this is. I'm just watching this little video real quick to make sure I'm putting these in the right way. As Daddy John said, I don't want to mess it up. One thing I've noticed, y'all, is my microphones work great for like recording video, but I've noticed when I go back and rewatch some of my live streams, they're not working. So I don't know if it's something with YouTube that they don't work. I don't know if they're not working now. So I'll go back and watch again, but... oh, sweet. He's got the pegs marked and everything. That's smart. But I took a picture of it, so I know where they go. That's one thing I always do. I take a picture of stuff the way it looks before I take it apart, so I know how to put it back together. Like when I rewired the ballast in my kitchen light the other day. They snap into place, huh? Interesting. All right, well, I'll figure it out. Or maybe Daddy John will help me. That's right, you listen to me. That's right, I sure do. All right, this gasket goes here. These gaskets are blue. Nice, pretty blue. Whereas the other ones were just boring, ugly black. Why are you not seating in there? All right. And this is John's thong that I'm going to use as the gasket. You know, a lot of people get intimidated by automotive work and stuff like that. Honestly, it's really not that bad. You're really just taking something apart and putting it back together. I mean, I changed the alternator on my truck in less than an hour, and I'd never changed it before. Really not that bad. What's scary is when you get it all back together and you go to crank it back up for the first time. That's the scary part. Because you always say a little prayer and, you know, please God, don't let me have messed this up. I can change brakes and that's it. Yeah, brakes aren't too bad. I'll tell you what brakes scare the crap out of me though are like working with air brakes and brake chambers. Dude, a 30-30 brake chamber, it's under like 10,000 pounds of pressure. And if it comes apart on you, yeah, it could take your head off, literally. They ain't no joke. They scurry. All right, let me look at my picture. Photos. It's starting to feel hot. Is my fan still? Nope. My battery died. I thought it was feeling warm out here. Oh, come on. Get out of there. Grab my battery off my router. So I bought a fan for us to use at markets because it's so dang hot down here. So I bought, it was on sale like $60 off. I bought this gigantic DeWalt 18-inch fan, and it uses my batteries that I use for my tools, and I got 4 batteries. That thing's a lifesaver. All right, let's see. You go here. There's a stud. Man, that picture is awful. That's the oil fill cap, so that one is one of the that's how it snaps. I got it now. I understand. It just clicked in my head. It snaps into the gasket. So this little lip right here goes over the gasket, and that's what holds it in place. That's why they started falling out when I pulled the gasket out. You big dummy. Well, that makes it a lot easier. That way it holds the gasket in place, and the gasket won't flop around and fall out while I'm putting it back down over the block. All right, you are a, no you're not. You are. So I have to make sure these studs go back in the right place, because there's two different types and they hold these. There's one type is the long one, and it holds these pins. Well, these studs, these pins, is what holds the beauty cover over the top of the engine, and if they're not in the right spot, it won't hold it. It won't hold it down. That's going to be mirrored, so this one is one. Do I have any more? Yeah, I got that one. Uh-oh. That's not good. Did it go in there? God, I hope it didn't. Where's the final stud? I think it's this one. One way to find out. Oh, I got the beauty cover right here. There, and there. All right, I do have them in the right spot. I do. All right, I can go back to the live and see what y'all are saying about me. You used to work on air brakes also. Yes, you have to trust that cage, but yeah, and that's a lot of trust. What's up, Billy? Or Bills? My bad. Bills, AK. Oh, that's 9mm. I hope I didn't just drop a drop a bolt down into that air breather. I'll know in a minute if I come up short one. I completely forgot. That's the air intake right here. Yeah, we are almost done, folks. We have got maybe another 20-30 minutes and I should be wrapped up. I just like to take my time with this stuff. I do not rush it, because that's when you make mistakes. All right, there's two more studs. Why do I have so many more? Oh yeah, there's some that have. There's some that have clamps that go on. Duh. All right, so this is one of them. That's got to come back out. I forgot that some of these long ones have clamps and stuff for holding wiring harnesses and stuff. back left corner, so that one is this. So that's one. I think that's, no, there's one more. Daggone. All right, that's that corner, and then there's, I really didn't need to take that fuel line off, but that back corner, that side, where is the last one? Oh, I should have taken a better picture. You know what? It's just going to go right there. I'm at the point of not giving a crap anymore. It's just a wire harness. It's not that big a deal. I can zip tie it. All right, all the perimeter is done. Let's pop the ones down for the head. Yeah, well, I'm missing a bolt, so Zach did do a boo-boo, and that joker went down into my breather too. Dadgummit. I gotta have it. And unfortunately, there's a curve right there, and my magnet won't work. I can't get it out of there. So, how do I get this off? You know what I'll do? I'll just reach down and grab it. Maybe I can get to it from under the air filter. Oh, well, that just broke. Yep, there it is. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come here. Oh. All right, I got it. Booyah. All right. Now that I broke that, let's put the air filter back in. Clamp that down. Now I'm gonna have to. That's why I hate plastic stuff. That should not be plastic. And it just snapped for holding down that air filter cover, but oh well. No, I don't have a flex head magnet. That would you did, Zach. So get ready to pull. Yeah, you saw it go down there. Oops. So yeah, I figures. I'll I mean, it might be fine, but it puts all the stress on the one clamp. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I always do. All right, so valve cover gaskets and all grommets are replaced. It's ready to go back on the engine. Now let me make double sure that I've got all these studs in the right place. That one goes there. Middle for that clamp, middle for that one. Actually, this one doesn't go here. That one goes there. That one goes there. There's no studs on the center rail. Let me double check one more time with the beauty cover. One there, there, and there, right in front of the oil fill. So yep, that is correct. Correctamundo. All right, let's start putting her back on. Move these harnesses out of the way. All right. Make sure that's good. Back is starting to ache leaning over this thing. Put this in the trash. All right, make sure nothing's pinched under it. And start to get these things started. I guess I should look at the torque specs on these. Found out what they're supposed to be torqued at. There we go. All right, everything on this side looks good. All right, so that can go there. This can go out of the way. oil return line. That'd be terrible if I didn't reattach that. Oil would go everywhere. That would be bad news. All right, that one's started. That one's good. That one's good. All right. All 18 are started. So, where's my ratchet? Ratchet. Here we are. All right. One of them I have to ratchet down because the stud's too long. Alright, I'm just going to do it not too tight, just because I need to look up what the torque specs are to get my torque wrench out. One, two, because definitely don't want to over torque it and crack this plastic valve cover. Then I'm screwed big time. And all of this would have been for nothing. I need to start that one again. Why did that one give me a fit? That one did not want to be tightened down. I don't like that. I don't know why it doesn't want to be tightened down. Already did that one. Okay. I gotta figure out why this one's binding up on me. Let's do it with the hand. The ratchet. goes. All right. Let's hook the fuel line back up. Tighten up the oil return, which is also plastic. Thanks, Dodge. And I think it just broke. It did. It's brittle. Son of a gun. It just broke off in the valve cover. Well, this car ain't going nowhere. Dadgummit. I put no tension on that whatsoever. Well, crap. And I have no vehicle here to go to AutoZone and grab what I need. So, oh well, no big deal. So what just happened, y'all, is, and I was afraid of that considering how brittle the gasket was, is the oil return line right here I guess it's gotten hot too, and it's brittle, and of course it's plastic, and it just broke. It just snapped, and it broke off inside the valve cover, so I got to dig that out and replace that fitting. But that's critical. I got to do that. That's dadgummit. That's the thing about auto repair. You go to fix one thing, something else is bound to break. It's gonna happen. Oh well. I was afraid of something like that. That's why I hate plastic. Plastic cannot hold up to heat. It just can't. All right, so that's on there. Oh, that clip is good. I still need to torque that down. I'll just go to AutoZone when the wife gets home. That's an easy fix, I think. The hard part's going to be digging out the piece that broke off in there. I might be able to get it with a pair of pliers. I don't know. I was afraid of that. That's why I was being so cautious and careful with it. Yes, one of those famous 20-minute jobs that lasts 3 days. That's right. That's how it happens, man. That's the way it is with automotive, bro. I mean, that's just... I was afraid that was going to happen because I felt how brittle it was and how it didn't want to move. So I'm going to have to I'll probably have to just replace this little piece of hose too. But that's all right. I'll get the coils back in. Stuff happens. All right, that's coil 3. Coil 2. Coil 4. and coil 1. What's up, Brunick? Get you an ease out? Yeah, ease out will take it out. It's just with it being plastic, you know, I'm gonna have to be real careful getting it out of there because I don't want those plastic bits to fall down into the valve cover. I may have to take the valve cover back off. So I'm gonna have to be real careful. What I might do is put some tape or something on the inside of it to where it'll stick to it and not fall down into it. I mean, the safest thing to do is just take the valve cover back off, because I don't know how much of that broke off into it. It's always something. So I guess since I might have to take all this back off anyway, I may just leave it alone and not bolt down the coils just yet. No point in bolting them back down if might have to take them back out. Oh well, stuff happens. I'll wait for wifey to get home and go up to AutoZone and get me a new return line. That's why I hate plastic. That's why I like my Bronco. Everything's metal. You ain't got to worry about this crap. All right. Working on a box. Glad I'm not under it. Ain't that right? I'm working on a box that's on wheels. Yeah, take it off and be safe. Yeah, if that plastic gets down in there, it's just going to cause problems. I'll just take it back off. Ain't no big deal. It's just an annoyance. It costs me more time. Guys, you know, you don't want that kind of stuff running around down in your engine, and it'll just tear stuff up, and that's no bueno. So we're going to leave that alone. And the battery cable is still off, so nobody can accidentally start the dang thing. Leave the hood undone there. All right, so see my roll around toolbox. I built it a frame on one of those wooden dollies from Harbor Freight, and it is sturdy. It doesn't shimmy or shake or flex or anything. And I bolted it and glued it to the bottom, and I've got cross braces under the bottom here, plywood bottom, and then put some trim around the outside to keep screws and stuff from rolling off. This is my toolbox cart. I'm gonna put a shelf, I think, in the middle there and put a piece of plywood across the bottom so it's for more storage. But yeah, that saved me probably, I don't know, $200 or $300 on a roll around cart for my toolbox. I spent $20 instead. So, you know, do what you gotta do. I think it was a good idea. I've got to cut grass. I really wanted to get this car fixed today because she has band camp starting tomorrow. And she's gonna be gone all day long. Hang on, I'm gonna put y'all face down for a second. Sorry it's a little dark. I gotta reclamp my little doohickey here. Do do do. Whoop. Y'all went for a ride. There we go. Doop. All right. Let's turn that the other way. Okay. So it's always something. It's always something. But hey, what can you do? At least I got it 90% done, 95% done, so there's that. What's up, Mr. Kevin? Man, that's aggravating. But is what it is. Is what it is. So Kevin, yeah, I just spent a couple hours trying to replace this valve cover gasket. Just about got it buttoned up, and the oil return line fitting snapped in the valve cover because it's old plastic. It gotten hot and it's brittle. So now that put me at a dead standstill because I don't have any way to get up to AutoZone right now because this is the only car that's here. So I have to wait for my wife to get back home. But it's all good. But yeah, oh, it's all good, 9mm, dude. Like I said, I've been doing automotive stuff for decades. That's par for the course, man. There's always something like that that's gonna happen. Always. It never fails. So I'm used to it. Ain't no big deal. I mean, I would rather it break on me there and then instead of later on the road and oil going all over the place and she break down. So I'm thankful that it broke right then, if you want the honest truth. I'd rather it break on me while I'm fixing it than break on her going down the road. And then me having to go rescue her. So yeah, little blessing in disguise. Dude, I'm a silver lining guy. That's just how I do. I silver lining, make the best of it. 'Tis what it is. So in that respect,
smacking that ass.
I'm gonna smack the ash. So yeah, Kevin, it's my wife's 2014 Dodge Avenger valve cover gasket. Almost got done with it. Like, all I have to do is torque down the bolts and hook up the coils and the battery, and it would have been done. But no. So I got me a marking wheel, and I also got me, where'd it go? Calipers. And that fancy dancy dude right there. So I'm going to learn how to do hand cut dovetails. And I got me a coping saw, which the blades I have for my coping saw were too big when I tried to do it the first time. So I got one of those spiral tooth blades. And that joker is sharp. So hopefully the spiral tooth blades will be a little bit easier to use doing those dovetails. I don't know what Daniel uses for dovetails, hand cut dovetails, but the blade, even the thinnest blade I could find, just the flat blades, I couldn't get it to turn inside to go across. So I like pre-1995 vehicles. No plastic, stupid sensors, cameras. Yeah, exactly, plywood. Like, you know, this is my 1970 Bronco. It ain't got none of that crap. And it'll last forever. What's up, Highback? All right, so I am going to roll this bad boy back in here. Whoop. All right. The toolbox is back where it's supposed to be. There's my neighbor, Miss Debbie. And my fan. All right, folks. Well, 1970 Chevy step van. I bet that's nice. Finally getting back in the shop after having a 3-day gap. Work has been hell. I hear you, bro. So yeah, I was today I just been working on my wife's car, changing the valve cover gasket. Almost got done, and the oil return line fitting snapped off in the head, or in the valve cover. So I got to buy a new one and try to dig that old one out. So that being said, I'm going to go clean up, wash up, and try to get my fever down a little bit. It's up right now. So I'm going to go clean up, rest up a bit, and yeah, I'll let y'all know later if I get it fixed. But other than that, we're stuck. But I will see you guys later. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me while I work on that. It kept me occupied and talking while doing it. It's not the most fun work to do in the world. So anyhow, I'm gonna go rest up. I will see y'all later. Y'all take care.